Proceed, Sir Linus, to procure my fall, and by the doom of death end woes and all.
Merchant of Syracusa, plead no more. I am not partial to infringe our laws. The enmity and discord which of late sprung from the rancorous outrage of your duke to merchants, our well-dealing countrymen, who, wanting guilders to redeem their lives, have sealed his rigorous statutes with their bloods, excludes all pity from our threatening looks. For since the mortal and intestine jars twixt thy seditious countrymen and us, it hath in solemn synods been decreed, both by the Syracusians and ourselves, to admit no traffic to our adverse towns. Nay, more, if any born at Ephesus be seen at Syracusian marts and fairs, again, if any Syracusian born come to the bay of Ephesus, he dies, his goods confiscate to the duke's dispose, unless 1,000 marks be levied to quit the penalty and to ransom him. Thy substance, valued at the highest rate, cannot amount unto 100 marks. Therefore, by law, thou art condemned to die.
Yet this my comfort, when your words are done, my woes end likewise with the evening sun.
Well, Syracusian, say, in brief, the cause why thou departedst from thy native home, and for what cause thou camest to Ephesus.
A heavier task could not have been imposed than I to speak my griefs unspeakable. Yet that the world may witness that my end was wrought by nature, not by vile offence, I'll utter what my sorrow gives me leave. In Syracusa was I born, and wed unto a woman, happy but for me, and by me too, had not our hap been bad. With her I lived in joy, our wealth increased by prosperous voyages I often made to Epidamnum, till my factor's death and the great care of goods at random left drew me from kind embracements of my spouse, from whom my absence was not 6 months old, before herself, almost at fainting under the pleasing punishment that women bear, had made provision for her following me, and soon and safe arrived where I was. There had she not been long, but she became a joyful mother of 2 goodly sons, and which was strange, the one so like the other as could not be distinguished but by name. That very hour, and in the self-same inn, a meaner woman was delivered of such a burden male, twins, both alike. Those, for their parents were exceeding poor, I bought, and brought up to attend my sons. My wife, not meanly proud of 2 such boys, made daily motions for our home return. Unwilling, I agreed. Alas, too soon we came aboard. A league from Epidamnum had we sailed before the always wind-obeying deep gave any tragic instance of our harm. But longer did we not retain much hope, for what obscured light the heavens did grant did but convey unto our fearful minds a doubtful warrant of immediate death, which though myself would gladly have embraced, yet the incessant weepings of my wife, weeping before for what she saw must come, and piteous plainings of the pretty babes that mourned for fashion, ignorant what to fear, forced me to seek delays for them and me. And this it was, for other means was none. The sailors sought for safety by our boat, and left the ship, then sinking ripe to us. My wife, more careful for the latter born, had fastened him unto a small spare mast, such as seafaring men provide for storms. To him one of the other twins was bound, whilst I had been like heedful of the other. The children thus disposed, my wife and I, fixing our eyes on whom our care was fixed, fastened ourselves at either end the mast, and floating straight, obedient to the stream, were carried towards Corinth, as we thought. At length the sun, gazing upon the earth, dispersed those vapours which offended us, and by the benefit of his wished light, the seas waxed calm, and we discovered 2 ships from far, making a main to us. Of Corinth that, of Epidaurus this. But ere they came, let me say no more. gather the sequel by that went before.
Nay, forward, old man, do not break off so, for we may pity, though not pardon thee.
Oh, had the gods done so, I had not now worthily termed them merciless to us. For ere the ships could meet by twice 5 leagues, we were encountered by a mighty rock, which being violently borne upon our helpful ship was splitted in the midst, so that in this unjust divorce of us, fortune had left to both of us alike what to delight in, what to sorrow for. Her part, poor soul, seeming as burdened with lesser weight, but not with lesser woe, was carried with more speed before the wind, and in our sight they 3 were taken up by fishermen of Corinth, as we thought. At length another ship had seized on us, and knowing whom it was they hap to save, gave healthful welcome to their shipwrecked guests, and would have reft the fishers of their prey, had not their bark been very slow of sail, and therefore homeward did they bend their course. Thus you have heard me severed from my bliss, that by misfortunes was my life prolonged to tell sad stories of my own mishaps.
And for the sake of them thou sorrowest for, do me the favour to dilate at full what hath befallen of them and thee till now.
My youngest boy, and yet my eldest care, at 18 years became inquisitive after his brother, and importuned me that his attendant, for his case was like, reft of his brother, but retained his name, might bear him company in the quest of him, whom whilst I laboured of a love to see, I hazarded the loss of whom I loved. 5 summers have I spent in farthest Greece, roaming clean through the bounds of Asia, and coasting homeward came to Ephesus, hopeless to find, yet loath to leave unsought, or that or any place that harbours men. But here must end the story of my life, and happy were I in my timely death, could all my travels warrant me they live.
Hapless Aegeon, whom the fates have marked to bear the extremity of dire mishap. Now, trust me, were it not against our laws, against my crown, my oath, my dignity, which princes, would they, may not disannul, my soul should sue as advocate for thee. But though thou art adjudged to the death, and passed sentence may not be recalled, but to our honour's great disparagement, yet will I favour thee in what I can. Therefore, merchant, I'll limit thee this day, to seek thy help by beneficial hap. Try all the friends thou hast in Ephesus, beg thou or borrow to make up the sum, and live. If no, then thou art doomed to die. Jailer, take him to thy custody.
I will, my lord.
Hopeless and helpless doth Aegeon wend, but to procrastinate his lifeless end.
Therefore, give out your of epidamnum, lest that your goods too soon be confiscate. This very day a Syracusan merchant is apprehended for arrival here, and not being able to buy out his life according to the statute of the town, dies ere the weary sun set in the west. There is your money that I had to keep.
Dromio,
Aha!
go bear it to the centaur where we host, and stay there, Dromio, till I come to thee. Oh, within this hour it will be dinner time. Till that, I'll view the manners of the town, peruse the traders, gaze upon the buildings, and then return and sleep within mine inn. For with long travel I am stiff and weary. Get thee away.
Many a man would take you at your word and go indeed, having so good a mean.
A trusty villain, sir, that very oft when I am dull with care and melancholy lightens my humour with his merry jests. What, will you walk with me about the town, and then go to my inn and dine with me?
I am invited, sir, to certain merchants, of whom I hope to make much benefit. I crave your pardon. Soon at 5 o'clock, please you, I'll meet with you upon the mart, and afterward consort you till bedtime. My present business calls me from you now.
Farewell till then. I will go lose myself and wander up and down to view the city.
Sir, I commend you to your own content.
He that commends me to mine own content commends me to the thing I cannot get. I, to the world, am like a drop of water that in the ocean seeks another drop, who falling there to find his fellow forth, unseen, inquisitive, confounds himself. So I, to find a mother and a brother, in quest of them, unhappy I lose myself.
Master!
Here comes the almanac of my true date. What now? How chanced thou art returned so soon?
Return so soon? Rather approach too late. The capon burns, the pig falls from the spit, the clock has stricken 12 upon the bell. My mistress made it 1 upon my cheek. She is so hot because the meat is cold. The meat is cold because you come not home. You come not home because you have no stomach. You have no stomach, having broke your fast, but we that know what 'tis to fast and pray are penitent for your default today.
Stop in your wind. Sir, tell me this, I pray, where have you left the money that I gave you?
Oh. 6pence that I had a Wednesday last to pay the saddler for my mistress' crupper. The saddler had it, sir. I kept it not.
I am not in a sportive humour now. Tell me, and dally not, where is the money?
Eh?
We being strangers here, how darest thou trust so great a charge from thine own custody?
I pray you, sir, just as you sit at dinner, I from my mistress come to you in post. If I return, I shall be post indeed, for she will score your fault upon my pate.
Dromio.
Methinks you're more like mine should be your clock and strike you home without a messenger.
Come, Dromio, come. These jests are out of season. Reserve them till a merrier hour than this. Where is the gold I gave in charge to thee?
To me, sir? Why, you gave no gold to me.
Come on, Sir Knave. Have done your foolishness, and tell me how thou hast disposed thy charge.
My charge was but to fetch you from the mart home to your house, the Phoenix, sir, to dinner. My mistress and her sister stay for you.
Now, as I am a Christian, answer me in what safe place you have bestowed my money, or I shall break that merry sconce of yours that stands on tricks when I am undisposed. Where is the 1,000 marks thou hadst of me?
I have some marks of yours upon my pate, some of my mistress marks upon my shoulders, but not 1,000 marks between you both. If I should pay your worship those again, perchance you will not bear them patiently.
My mistress marks? What mistress slave hast thou?
Your worship's wife, my mistress at the Phoenix, she that doth fast till you come home to dinner, and prays that you will hire you home to dinner.
What, wilt thou flout me thus unto my face, being forbid? There, take you that, slave.
Out! What mean you, sir? For God's sake, hold your hands. Nay, and you will not outtake my heels.
Upon my life, by some device or other, the villain is all wrought of all my money. Oh, they say this town is full of cozenage, as nimble jugglers that deceive the eye, dark-working sorcerers that change the mind, soul-killing witches that deform the body, disguised cheaters prating mountebanks, and many such like liberties of sin. If it prove so, I will be gone the sooner. I'll to the centaur to go seek this slave. I greatly fear my money is not safe.
Nor the slave returned, that in such haste I sent to seek his master. Sure, Luciana, it is 2 o'clock.
Perhaps some merchant hath invited him, and from the mart he's somewhere gone to dinner. Good sister, let us dine, and never fret. A man is master of his liberty. Time is their master, and when they see time, they'll go or come. If so, be patient, sister.
Why should their liberty than ours be more?
Because their business still lies out a door.
Look look, when I serve him so, he takes it ill.
Oh, no, he is the bridle of your will.
There's none but asses will be bridled so.
Why? Headstrong liberty is lashed with woe. There's nothing situate under heaven's eye but hath his bound in earth, in sea, in sky. The beasts, the fishes, and the winged fowls are their male subjects, and at their controls. And men, more divine, the masters of all these, lords of the wide world and wild watery seas, endued with intellectual sense and souls of more preeminence than fish and fowls, are masters to their females, and their lords. Then let your will attend on their accords.
This servitude makes you to keep unwed.
Not this, but troubles of the marriage bed.
But were you wedded, you would bear some sway.
Ere I learn love, I'll practice to obey.
How if your husband starts some other where?
Till he come home again I would forbear.
Patience unmoved. No marvel though she pause, they can be meek that have no other cause. A wretched soul, bruised with adversity, we bid be quiet when we hear it cry. But were we burdened with like weight of pain, as much or more we should ourselves complain. So thou, that hast no unkind mate to grieve thee, with urging helpless patience wouldst relieve me. But if thou live to see like right bereft, this fool-begged patience in thee will be left.
Well, I will marry one day, but to try. Oh, here comes your man. Now is your husband nigh.
Say, is your tardy master now at hand?
Nay, he's at two hands with me, and that my two ears can witness.
Say, dost thou speak with him? Knowst thou his mind?
Aye, he told his mind upon mine ear, but shrew his hand I scarce could understand it.
Spake he so doubtfully thou couldst not feel his meaning?
Nay, he struck so plainly I could too well feel his blows, and withal so doubtfully that I could scarce understand them.
But say, I prithee, is he coming home? It seems he hath great care to please his wife.
Why, mistress, sure my master is all mad.
Horn mad, thou villain?
I mean not cuckold mad, but sure, he's stark mad. When I desired him to come home to dinner, he asked me for 1,000 marks in gold. 'Tis dinner time, quoth I. My gold, quoth he. Your meat doth burn, quoth I. My gold, quoth he. Will you come home, quoth I. My gold, quoth he. Where is 1,000 marks I give thee, villain? The pig, quoth I, is burned. My gold, quoth he. My mistress, sir, quoth I. Hang up thy mistress, I know not thy mistress, out on thy mistress.
Quoth who?
Quoth my master. I know, quoth he, no house, no wife, no mistress. So that my errand, due unto my tongue, I thank him, I bear home upon me shoulders, for in conclusion he did beat me there.
Go back again, thou slave, and fetch him home.
Go back again and be new beaten home. For God's sake, send some other messenger.
Back, slave, or I will break thy pate across.
And he will bless that cross with other beating. Between you I shall have a holy head.
Hence, prating peasant, fetch thy master home.
Am I so round with you as you with me, that like a football you'd spurn me thus? You spurn me hence, and he will spurn me hither. If I last in this service, you must case me in leather.
Fie, how impatience larreth in your face.
His company must do his minions grace, whilst I at home starve for a merry look. Hath homely age the luring beauty took from my poor cheek? Then he hath wasted it. Are my discourses dull, barren my wit? If voluble and sharp discourse be marred, unkindness blunts it more than marble hard. And do their gay vestments his affections bait? That's not my fault, he's master of my state. What ruins are in me that can be found by him not ruined, then he is the ground of my defeatures. My decayed fair, a sunny look of his would soon repair. But too unruly dear, he breaks the pale and feeds from home. Poor I am but his stale.
Self-harming jealousy. Fie, beat it hence.
Unfeeling fools can with such wrongs dispense. I know his eye doth homage otherwhere, or else what lets it but he would be here. Sister, you know he promised me a train. Would that alone of love he would detain, so he would keep fair quarter with his bed. I see the jewel, best enameled, will lose its beauty. And though gold bides still that others touch, yet often touching will wear gold. And no man that hath a name but falsehood and corruption doth it shame. Since that my beauty cannot please his eye, I'll weep what's left away and weeping die.
How many fond fools serve mad jealousy.
The gold I gave to Dromio is laid up safe at the centaur, and the heedful slave is wandered forth in care to seek me out.
By computation and mine host's report, I could not speak with Dromio since at first I sent him from the mart.
Sir!
See, here he comes. How now, sir? Is your merry humour altered? As you love strokes, so jest with me again.
You know no, centaur. You receive no gold. Your mistress said to have me home to dinner. My house was at the Phoenix.
Wast thou mad that thus so madly thou didst answer me?
What answer, sir? When spake I such a word?
Even now, even here, not half an hour since.
I did not see you since you sent me hence home to the centaur with the gold you give me.
Villain, thou didst deny the gold's receipt and toldst me of a mistress and a dinner, for which I hope thou feltst I was displeased.
Oh, I'm glad to see you in this merry vein. What means this jest? I pray you, master, tell me.
Yea, dost thou jeer and flout me in the teeth? And thinkst thou I jest? Hold, take thou that, and that.
Hold, sir, for God's sake. Now your jest is earnest. Upon what bargain do you give it me?
Because that I familiarly sometimes do use you for my fool and chat with you, your sauciness will jest upon my love and make a common of my serious hours. When the sun shines, let foolish gnats make sport, but creep in crannies when he hides his beams. If you will jest with me, know my aspect and fashion your demeanour to my looks, or I will beat this method in your sconce.
Sconce? Call you it? So you would leave battering, I'd rather have it ahead. And you use these blows long, I must get a sconce for my head, and then sconce it too, or else I shall sink my wit in my shoulders. But pray, sir, why am I beaten?
Dost thou not know?
Nothing, sir, but that I am beaten.
Shall I tell you why?
Aye, sir, and wherefore, for they say every why hath a wherefore.
Why, first, for flouting me, and then wherefore, for urging it the second time.
Was there ever any man thus beaten out of season, when in the why and the wherefore is neither rhyme nor reason? Well, sir, I thank you.
Thank me, sir, for what?
Marry, sir, for this something that you give me for nothing.
I'll make you amends next to give you nothing for something. But say, sir, is it dinner time?
No, sir. I think the meat wants that I have.
In good time, sir, what's that?
Basting.
Well, sir, then 'twill be dry.
If it be, sir, I pray you eat none of it.
Your reason?
Lest it make you choleric and purchase me another dry basting.
Well, sir, learn to jest in good time. There's a time for all things.
Oh, I durst have denied that before you were so choleric.
By what rule, sir?
Marry, sir, by a rule as plain as the plain bald pate of Father Time himself.
Let's hear it.
There's no time for a man to recover his hair that grows bald by nature.
May he not do it by fine and recover it?
Yes, to pay a fine for a periwig and recover the lost hair of another man.
Why is time such a niggard of hair, being as it is so plentiful an excrement?
Because it is a blessing that he bestows on beasts, and what he hath scanted men in hair, he hath given them in wit.
Why, but there's many a man hath more hair than wit.
Not a man of those, but he hath the wit to lose his hair.
Why, thou didst conclude hairy men plain dealers without wit.
The plainer the dealer, they're sooner lost, yet he loseth it in a kind of jollity.
Oh, for what reason?
For two, and sound ones too.
Nay, not sound, I pray you.
Sure ones then.
Nay, not sure in a thing falsing.
Certain ones then.
Name them.
The one, to save the money that he spends in tiring. The other, that at dinner they should not drop in his porridge.
You would all this time have proved there is no time for all things.
Marry, sir, and did. Namely, he had no time to recover hair lost by nature.
But your reason was not substantial why there is no time to recover.
Thus I mend it. Time himself is bald, and therefore, to the world's end, we'll have bald followers.
Yuck, I knew 'twould be a bold conclusion.
Ooh.
But soft. Who wafts us yonder?
Aye, Antipholus, look strange and frown. Some other mistress hath thy sweet aspects. I am not Adriana nor thy wife. The time was once when thou unurged wouldst vow that never words were music to thine ear, that never object pleasing in thine eye, that never touch well welcome to thy hand, that never meat sweet savoured in thy taste, unless I spake, or looked, or touched, or carved to thee. How comes it now, my husband? Oh, how comes it that thou art then estranged from thyself? Thyself, I call it, being strange to me, that undividable incorporate and better than thy dear self's better part. Do not tear away thyself from me, for know, my love, as easy mayst thou fall a drop of water in the breaking gulf, and take unmingled thence that drop again without addition or diminishing, as take from me thyself and not me too. How dear thee, would it touch thee to the quick, shouldst thou but hear I were licentious, and that this body consecrate to thee by ruffian lust should be contaminate, wouldst thou not spit at me and spurn at me, and hurl the name of husband in my face, and tear the stained skin off my harlot brow, and from my false hand cut the wedding ring and break it with a deep divorcing vow? I know thou canst, and therefore see thou do it. I am possessed with an adulterate blot. My blood is mingled with the grime of lust, for if we two be one and thou play false, I do digest the poison of thy flesh, being strumpeted by thy contagion. Keep then fair league and truce with thy true bed. I live unstained, thou undishonored.
Plead you to me, fair dame? I know you not. In Ephesus I am but 2 hours old, as strange unto your town as to your talk. You every word by all my wit being scanned, one wit in all one word to understand.
Fie, brother! How the world is changed with you! When were you wont to use my sister thus? She sent for you by Dromio home to dinner.
By Dromio?
By me?
By thee, and this thou didst return from him that he did buffet thee, and in his blows denied my house for his, me for his wife.
Did you converse, sir, with this gentlewoman? What is the course and drift of your compact?
I, sir, I never saw her until this time.
Villain, thou liest, for even her very words didst thou deliver to me on the mart.
I never spake with her in all my life.
How can she thus then call us by our names? Unless it be by inspiration.
How ill agrees it with your gravity to counterfeit thus grossly with your slave, abetting him to thwart me in my mood. Be it my wrong, you are from me exempt, but wrong not that wrong with a more contempt. Come, I will fasten on this sleeve of thine. Thou art an elm, my husband, I a vine, whose weakness married to thy stronger state makes me with thy strength to communicate. If aught possess thee from me, it is dross, usurping ivy, briar, or idle moss, who all for want of pruning with intrusion infect thy sap and live on thy confusion.
To me she speaks. She moves me for her theme. What, was I married to her in my dream? Or sleep I now, and think I hear all this? What error drives our eyes and ears amiss? Until I know this sure uncertainty, I'll entertain the offered fallacy.
Dromio, go bid the servants spread for dinner.
Ooh, for my beads, I cross me for a sinner. This is the fairyland. Oh, spite of spites, we talk with goblins, owls, and sprites. If we obey them not, this will ensue. They'll suck our breath or pinch us black and blue.
Preach thou to thyself and answerest not. Dromio! Oh, thou drone, thou snail, thou slug, thou sot!
I am transformed, master, am I?
I think thou art in mind, and so am I.
Nay, master, both in mind and in my shape.
Thou hast thine own form.
No, I am an ape. Oh.
If thou change to aught, 'tis to an ass.
'Tis true, she rides me, and I long for grass. 'Tis so, I am an ass. Else it could never be. But I should know her as well as she knows me.
Come, no longer will I be a fool to put the finger in the eye and weep, whilst man and master laugh my woes to scorn. Come, sir, to dinner. Dromio, keep the gate. Husband, I'll dine above with you today, and shrive you of 1,000 idle pranks. Sirrah, if any ask you for your master, say he dines forth, and let no creature enter. Come, sister. Dromio, play the porter well.
Am I in earth, in heaven, or in hell? Sleeping or waking? Mad or well advised? Known unto these, and to myself disguised? I'll say as they say, and persever so, and in this mist at all adventures go.
Master, shall I be porter at the gate?
Aye, and let none enter, lest I break your pate.
Come, come, Antipholus, we dine too late.
Signor Angelo, you must excuse us all. My wife is shrewish when I keep not ours. Say that I lingered with you at your shop to see the making of her carcanet, and that tomorrow you will bring it home. But here's a villain that would face me down, he met me on the mart, and that I beat him, and charged him with 1,000 marks in gold, and that I did deny my wife and house. Thou drunkard, thou! What didst thou mean by this?
Say what you will, sir, but I know what I know. That you beat me at the mart, I have your hand to show. If the skin were parchment and the blows you gave were ink, your own handwriting would tell you what I think.
I think thou art an ass.
Marry, so it doth appear, by the wrongs I suffer and the blows I bear. I should kick being kicked, and being at that pass, you would keep from my heels and beware of an ass.
You're sad, Signor Balthazar. Pray God our cheer may answer my goodwill and your good welcome here.
I hold your dainties cheap, sir, and your welcome, dear.
Oh, Signor Balthazar, either at flesh or fish, a table full of welcome makes scarce one dainty dish.
Good meat is common, that every churl affords.
And welcome more common, for that's nothing but words.
Small cheer and great welcome makes a merry feast.
Aye, to a niggardly host and more sparing guest. But though my cates be mean, take them in good part. Better cheer may you have, but not with better heart. But stop. My door is locked. Go, bid them let us in.
Maud! Bridget! Marion! Cicely! Gillian! Gin!
Mome! Malt horse capon coxcomb idiot patch! Either get thee from the door, or sit down at the hatch. Dost thou conjure for wenches that thou call'st for such store? When one is one too many, go, get thee from the door.
What patch is made out, porter? My master stays in the street.
Let him walk from whence he came, lest he catch cold on's feet.
Who talks within there? Who opened the door?
Right, sir, I'll tell you when, and you tell me wherefore.
Wherefore? For my dinner. I have not dined today.
Nor today here you must not. Come again when you may.
What art thou that keeps me out from the house I owe?
The porter for this time, sir, and my name is Dromio.
What?
Oh, villain! Thou hast stolen both mine office and my name. The one there got me credit, the other mickle blame. If thou hadst been Dromio today in my place, thou would have changed thy face for a name, or thy name for an ass.
What a coiling there, Dromio! Who without at the gate?
Let my master in, loose!
But now he comes too late! And so tell your master!
Oh, Lord, I must laugh. Haven't you with a proverb? Shall I set in my style?
Oh, haven't you with another? That's when, can you tell?
If thy name be called Loose, Loose thou hast answered him well.
Oh, do you hear, you minion? You'll let us in, I trow.
I thought to have asked you.
But you said now.
Oh, so come, help. Well struck. There was blow for blow.
Baggage, let me in.
Can you tell for whose sake?
Master, knock the door out.
Let him knock to the gate.
Cry for this minion if I beat the door down.
What needs all that and a pair of stocks in town? Who is that at the door that keeps all this noise?
By my throat, your town is troubled with unruly boys.
Are you there, wife? You might have come before.
Your wife's her name. Go get you from the door.
Oh.
If you went in pain, master, this knave would go sore.
Here is neither cheer, sir, nor welcome. We would fain have either.
In debating which was best, we shall part with neither.
They stand at the door, master. Bid them welcome hither.
There is something in the wind that we cannot get in.
You would say so, master, if your garments were thin. Your cake here is warm within. You stand here in the cold. It would make a man mad as a buck to be so bought and sold.
Go, fetch me something. I'll break ope the gate.
Break any break in here, and I'll break your knave's pate.
A man may break a word with you, sir, and words about wind. Aye, and break it in your face, so he break it not behind.
It seems thou wants breaking. Out upon thee, hind.
Yes, too much out upon thee. I pray thee, let me in.
Aye, when fowls have no feathers and fish have no fin.
Well, I'll break in. Go, borrow me a crow.
A crow without feather?
Oh.
Master, mean you so? For a fish without a fin, there's a fowl without a feather. If a crow help us in set up, we'll pluck a crow together.
Go, get thee gone. Fetch me an iron crow.
Have patience, sir. Oh, let it not be so. Herein you war against your reputation, and draw within the compass of suspect the unviolated honour of your wife. Once this, your long experience of her wisdom, her sober virtue, years, and modesty, plead on her part some cause to you unknown, and doubt not, sir, but she will well excuse why at this time the doors are made against you. Be ruled by me, depart in patience, and let us to the Tiger all to dinner, and about evening come yourself alone to know the reason of this strange restraint. If by strong hand you offer to break in, now in the stirring passage of the day, a vulgar comment will be made of it, and that supposed by the common rout against your yet ungalled estimation, that may with foul intrusion enter in and dwell upon your grave when you are dead. For slander lives upon succession, forever housed where it gets possession.
You have prevailed. I will depart in quiet, and, in despite of mirth, mean to be merry. I know a wench of excellent discourse, pretty and witty, wild and yet too gentle. There will we dine. This woman that I mean, my wife, but I protest without desert, hath oftentimes upbraided me withal. To her will we to dinner. Get you home, and fetch the chain. By this I note is made. Bring it, I pray you, to the Porpentine, for there's the house. That chain will I bestow, be it for nothing but to spite my wife, upon mine hostess there. Good sir, make haste. Since mine own doors refuse to entertain me, I'll knock elsewhere to see if they'll disdain me.
I'll meet you at that place some hour hence.
Do so. This jest shall cost me some expense.
And may it be that you have quite forgot a husband's office? Shall Antipholus hate even in the spring of love thy love springs rot? Shall love in building grow so ruinate? If you did wed my sister for her wealth, then for her wealth's sake use her with more kindness. Or if you like elsewhere, do it by stealth. Muffle your false love with some show of blindness. Let not my sister read it in your eye. Be not thy tongue thy own shame's orator. Look sweet, speak fair, become disloyalty, apparel vice like virtue's harbinger. Bear a fair presence though your heart be tainted. Teach sin the carriage of a holy saint. Be secret false, what need she be acquainted? What simple thief brags of his own attaint? 'Tis double wrong to truant with your bed, and let her read it in thy looks at board. Shame hath a bastard fame well managed. Ill deed is doubled with an evil word. Alas, poor women, make us but believe, being compact of credit, that you love us. Though others have the arm, show us the sleeve. We in your motion turn, and you may move us. Oh, then, gentle brother, get you in again. Comfort my sister. Cheer her, call her wife. 'Tis holy sport to be a little vain when the sweet breath of flattery conquers strife.
Sweet mistress, what your name is else I know not, nor by what wonder you do hit of mine. Less in your knowledge and your grace you show not than our earth's wonder, more than earth, divine. Teach me, dear creature, how to think and speak. Lay open to my earthly gross conceit, smothered in errors, feeble, shallow, weak, the folded meaning of your words' deceit. Against my soul's pure truth, why labour you to make it wander in an unknown field? Are you a god? Would you create me new? Transform me then, and to your power I'll yield. But if that I am I, then well I know your weeping sister is no wife of mine, nor to her bed no homage do I owe. Far more to you do I decline.
Brother.
Oh, train me not, sweet mermaid, with thy note to drown me in thy sister's flood of tears. Sing, siren, for thyself, and I will dote, Spread o'er the silver waves thy golden hairs, and as a bed I'll take them and there lie, and in that glorious supposition think he gains by death that hath such means to die. Let love, being light, be drowned if she sink.
What, are you mad that you do reason so?
Not mad, but mated. How, I do not know.
It is a fault that springeth from your eye.
For gazing on your beams, fair sun being by.
Gaze where you should, and that will clear your sight.
As good to wink, sweet love, as look on night.
Why call you me, love? Call my sister so.
Thy sister's sister.
That's my sister.
No, it is thyself, mine own self's better part. Mine eye's clear eye, my dear heart's dearer heart. My food, my fortune, and my sweet hope's aim. My soul earth's heaven, and my heaven's claim.
All this my sister is, or else should be.
Call thyself sister sweet, for I am thee. Thee will I love, and with thee lead my life. Thou hast no husband yet, nor I no wife. Give me thy hand.
Oh, soft, sir. Hold you still. I'll fetch my sister to get her goodwill.
Help!
Why? How now, Dromio? Where runn'st thou so fast?
Do you know me, sir? Am I Dromio? Am I your man? Am I myself?
Thou art Dromio, thou art my man, thou art thyself.
I am an ass, I am a woman's man, and besides myself.
What woman's man, and how besides thyself?
Marry, sir, besides myself, I'm due to a woman. One that claims me, one that haunts me, one that will have me.
What claim lays she to thee?
Marry, sir, such a claim as you would lay to your horse. And she would have me as a beast. Not that I, being a beast, she would have me, but that she, being a very beastly creature, lays claim to me.
What is she?
A very reverend body. Aye, such a one as a man may not speak of without he says, Sir Reverence, aye, have but lean luck in the match. And yet, is she a wondrous fat marriage?
Well, how dost thou mean, a fat marriage?
Marry, sir, she's the kitchen wench and all grease.
Oh.
And I know not what used to put her to, but to make a lamp of her and run from her by her own light. I warrant her rags and the tallow in them will burn a Poland winter. If she lives till doomsday, she'll burn a week longer than the whole world.
What complexion is she of?
Swart, like my shoe, but her face nothing like so clean kept. For why, she sweats, a man may go over shoes in the grime of it.
Well, that's a fault water will mend.
No, sir, 'tis in grain. Nice flood could not do it.
What's her name?
Nell, sir. But her name and 3/4, that's an L and 3/4, will not measure her from hip to hip.
Then she bears some bread.
No longer from head to foot than from hip to hip. She is spherical, like a globe. I could find out countries in her.
In what part of her body stands Ireland?
Marry, sir, in her buttocks. I found it out by the bogs.
Where Scotland?
I found it by the Baroness's hard in the palm of her hand.
Where France?
In her forehead, armed and reverted, making war against her hair.
Where England?
I looked for the chalky cliffs, but I could not find no whiteness in them. But I guess it stood in her chin by the salt room that ran between France and it.
Where Spain?
Faith, I saw it not, but I felt it hot on her breath.
Where America, the Indies?
Oh, sir, upon her nose, all over embellished with rubies, carbuncles, sapphires, declining their rich aspect to the hot breath of Spain, who sent all armados of carracks to be ballast at her nose.
And where stood Belgia, the Netherlands?
Oh, sir, I did not look so low. To conclude, this drudge, or diviner, laid claim to me, called me Dromio, swore I was assured to her, told me what privy marks I had about me, as the mark of my shoulder, the mole in my neck, the great wart on my left arm, that I, amazed, ran from her as a witch. And I think if my breast had not been made of faith, and my heart of steel, she had transformed me to a curtled dog, and made me turn at the wheel.
Go. Hie thee presently post to the road. And if the wind blow any way from shore, I will not harbour in this town tonight. If any bark put forth, come to the mart, where I will walk till thou return to me. If every one know us, and we know none, 'tis time, I think, to trudge back and be gone.
As from a bear a man would run for life, so fly I from her that would be my wife.
There's none but witches do inhabit here, and therefore 'tis high time that I were hence. She that doth call me husband, even my soul doth for a wife abhor. But her fair sister, possessed with such a gentle sovereign grace, have such enchanting presence and discourse. They've almost made me traitor to myself. But lest myself be guilty to self-wrong, I'll stop mine ears against the mermaid's song.
Master Antipholus.
Aye, that's my name.
I know it well, sir. Lo, here is the chain. I thought to have ta'en you at the Porpentine. The chain unfinished made me stay thus long.
Ah. What is your will that I shall do with this?
What please yourself, sir. I have made it for you.
Made it for me, sir? I bespoke it not.
Oh, not once, not twice, but 20 times you have. Go home with it and please your wife withal.
My wife?
And soon at supper time I'll visit you and then receive my money for the chain.
I pray you, sir, receive the money now, for fear you ne'er see chain nor money more.
You are a merry man, sir. Fare you well.
What I should think of this, I cannot tell. But this I think. There's no man is so vain that would refuse so fair an offered chain. I see a man here needs not live by shifts, when in the streets he meets such golden gifts. I'll to the mart, and there for Dromio stay. If any ship put out, then straight away.
The sum is due, and since I have not much importuned you, nor now I had not, but that I am bound to Persia, and want guilders for my voyage, therefore make present satisfaction, or I'll attach you by this officer.
Even just the sum that I do owe to you is growing to me by Antipholus, and in the instant that I met with you, he had of me a chain. At 5 o'clock I shall receive the money for the same. Pleaseth, you walk with me down to his house. I will discharge my bond, and thank you too.
That labour may you save. See where he comes.
While I go to the goldsmith's house, go thou and buy a rope's end. That will I bestow among my wife and her confederates for locking me out of my doors by day. But soft, I see the goldsmith. Get thee gone, buy thou a rope, and bring it home to me.
I buy £1,000 a year, I buy a rope.
A man is well holp up that trusts to you. I promised your presence and the chain, but neither chain nor goldsmith came to me. Belike you thought our love would last too long if it were chained together, and therefore came not.
Saving your merry humour, here's the note. How much the chain weighs to the utmost carat, the fineness of the gold and chargeful fashion, which doth amount to 3 odd ducats more than I stand debted to this gentleman. I pray you see him presently discharged, for he is bound to sea, and stays but for it.
I am not furnished with the present money. Besides, I have some business in the town. Good signor, take the stranger to my house, and with you take the chain, and bid my wife disburse the sum on the receipt thereof. Perchance I will be there as soon as you.
Then you will bring the chain to her yourself?
No, bear it with you, lest I come not time enough.
Sir, I will. Have you the chain about you?
And if I have not, sir, I hope you have, or else you may return without your money.
Nay, come, I pray you, sir, give me the chain. Both wind and tide stays for this gentleman, and I to blame have held him here too long.
Good Lord, you use this dalliance to excuse your breach of promise to the Porpentine. I should have chid you for not bringing it, but like a shrew, you first begin to brawl.
The hour steals on. I pray you, sir, dispatch.
You hear how he importunes me. The chain.
Why, give it to my wife and fetch your money.
Come, come, you know I gave it to you even now. Either send the chain or send by me some token.
Hi, now you run this humour out of breath. Come, where's the chain? I pray you let me see it.
My business cannot brook this dalliance. Good sir, say whether you'll answer me or no. If not, I'll leave him to this officer.
I answer you? What should I answer you?
The money that you owe me for the chain.
I owe you none till I receive the chain.
You know I gave it you half an hour since.
You gave me none. You wrong me much to say so.
You wrong me more, sir, in denying it. Consider how it stands upon my credit.
Well, officer, arrest him at my suit.
I do, and charge you in the Duke's name to obey me.
This touches me in reputation. Either consent to pay this sum for me, or I attach you by this officer.
Consent to pay thee? That I never had. Arrest me, foolish fellow, if thou darest.
Here is thy fee. Arrest him, officer. I would not spare my brother in this case if he should scorn me so apparently.
I do arrest you, sir. You hear the suit?
I do obey thee, till I give thee bail. But, sirrah, you shall buy this sport as dear as all the metal in your shop will answer.
Sir, I shall have law in Ephesus. To your notorious shame, I doubt it not.
Master!
lack of epidamnum that stays but till her owner comes aboard and then she bears away. Our frottage, sir, I have conveyed aboard, and I've bought the oil, the balsamum, and the aquavitiae. The ship is in her trim, the merry wind blows fair from land. Woo! They stay for naught at all, but for their owner, master, and yourself.
How now, a madman? Why, thou peevish sheep, what ship of epidamnum stays for me?
A ship you sent me to hire waftage.
Thou drunken slave, I sent thee for a rope, and told thee to what purpose and what end.
You sent me for a rope's end, sir. As soon as you sent me to the bay, sir, for a bar.
I will debate this matter at more leisure, and teach your ears to list me with more heed. To Adriana, villain, hie thee straight. Give her this key, and tell her in the desk that's covered o'er with Turkish tapestry there is a purse of ducats. Let her send it. Tell her I am arrested in the street, and that shall bail me. Hie thee, slave, be gone. On, officer, to prison till it come.
To Adriana? That is where we dined, where Dowser Bell did claim me for her husband. Ooh, she is too big, I hope, for me to compass. Thither I must, although against my will, for servants must their masters' minds fulfill.
Did he tempt thee so? Mightst thou perceive a surety in his eye that he did plead in earnest, yea or no? Looked he or red or pale or sad or merrily? What observation madest thou in this case of his heart's meteors tilting in his face?
First, he denied you had in him no right.
He meant he did me none, the more my spite.
Then swore he that he was a stranger here.
And true he swore, though yet forsworn he were.
Then pleaded I for you.
And what said he?
That love I begged for you, he begged of me.
With what persuasion did he tempt thy love?
With words that in an honest suit might move. First he did praise my beauty, then my speech.
To speak him fair?
Have patience, I beseech.
I cannot nor I will not hold me still. My tongue, though not my heart, shall have his will. He is deformed, crooked, old and sere, ill-faced, worst-bodied, shapeless everywhere, vicious, ungentle, foolish, blunt, unkind, stigmatical in making, worse in mind.
Who would be jealous then of such a one? No evil lost is wailed when it is gone.
Ah, but I think him better than I say, and yet would herein others' eyes were worse. Far from her nest the lapwing cries away, my heart prays for him, though my tongue do curse.
Go! The desk! The purse! Sweat now! Make haste!
How hast thou lost thy breath?
By running fast.
Where is thy master, Dromio? Is he well?
No, he's in a Tartar limbo worse than hell. A devil in an everlasting garment hath him, one whose hard heart is buttoned up with steel. A fiend, a fury, pitiless and rough, a wolf, nay worse, a fellow all in buff, a back friend, a shoulder clapper, one that countermands the passages of alleys, creeks and narrow lands, a hound that runs counter and yet draws dry foot well, one that before the judgment carries poor souls to hell.
Why, man, what is the matter?
I do not know the matter. He's arrested on the case.
What, is he arrested? Tell me at whose suit.
I know not whose suit he's arrested well, but he's in a suit of buff which arrested him, that I can tell. Will you send him Mistress Redemption the money in his desk?
Go fetch it, sister. This I wonder at, that he, unknown to me, should be in debt. Tell me, was he arrested on a band?
Not on a band, but on a stronger thing. A chain! A chain! Do you not hear it ring?
What, the chain?
No, the bell. 'Tis time that I were gone. It was 2 ere I left him, and now the clock strikes 1.
The hour's come back, that did I never hear.
Oh, yeah. If any hour meets a sergeant, it turns back for very fear.
As if time were in debt, how fondly dost thou reason.
Time is a very bankrupt and owes more than he's worth to season. Nay, he's a thief too. Have you not heard men say that time comes stealing on by night and day? If it be in debt and theft and a sergeant in the way, hath he not reason to turn back an hour in a day?
Here, sister. Go, Dromio, there's the money, bear it straight and bring thy master home immediately.
Aye.
Come, sister, I am pressed down with conceit. Conceit, my comfort and my injury.
There's not a man I meet but doth salute me as if I were their well-acquainted friend. And everyone doth call me by my name. Some tender money to me, some invite me, some other give me thanks for kindnesses, some offer me commodities to buy. Even now, a tailor called me in his shop and showed me silks that he had bought for me, and therewithal took measure of my body. Sure, these are but imaginary wiles, and Lapland sorcerers inhabit here.
Master! Here's the gold you sent me for. Oh, where have you got the picture of old Adam new apparelled?
What gold is this? What Adam dost thou mean?
Not the Adam that kept the paradise, but that Adam that keeps the prison. He that goes in the calfskin that was killed for the prodigal. He that come behind you, sir, like an evil angel and bid you forsake your liberty.
I understand thee not.
No? Why? 'Tis a plain case. He that went like a bass viol in a case of leather. The man, sir, that when gentlemen are tired gives them a sob and arrests them. He, sir, that takes pity on decayed men and gives them suits of durance. He that sets up his rest to do more exploits with his mace than a Morris pike.
What, thou mean'st an officer?
Aye, sir, the sergeant of the band. He that brings any man to answer it that breaks his band. One that thinks a man always going to bed and says, God give you a good rest.
Well, sir, there, rest in your foolery. Is there any ship puts forth tonight? May we be gone?
Why, sir, I brought you word an hour since that the bark expedition put forth tonight. And then you were hindered by the sergeant to tarry for a hoy delay. Here are the angels that you sent forth to deliver you.
The fellow is distract, and so am I, and here we wander in illusions. Some blessed power deliver us from hence.
Well met, Master Antipholus.
Ah.
I see, sir, you have found the goldsmith now. Is that the chain you promised me today?
Satan avoid! I charge thee, tempt me not.
Master, is this Mistress Satan?
It is the devil.
Nay, she is worse. She is the devil's dam. And here she comes in the habit of a light wench, and thereof comes that the wenches say, God damn me. That's as much to say, God make me a light wench.
Oh.
It is written, they appear to men like angels of light. Light is in effect of fire, and fire will burn. Ergo, light wenches will burn. Come not near her.
Your man and you are marvellous merry, sir. Will you go with me? We'll mend our dinner here.
Master, if you do, expect spoon meat or bespeak a long spoon.
Why, Dromio?
Marry, he must have a long spoon that must eat with the devil.
Oh.
Avoid, thou fiend! What tell'st thou me of supping? Thou art, as you are all, a sorceress. I conjure thee to leave me and be gone.
Give me the ring of mine you had at dinner. Or for my diamond, the chain you promised, and I'll be gone, sir, and not trouble you.
Some devils ask but the parings of one's nail, a rush of hair, a drop of blood, a pin, a nut, a cherry stone. But she, more covetous, would have a chain. Master, be wise, and if you give it her, the devil will shake her chain and fright us with it.
I pray you, sir, my ring, or else the chain. I hope you do not mean to cheat me so.
Avaunt, thou witch! Come, Dromio, let us go!
Fly, pride, says the peacock, mistress, that you know.
Out of doubt, Antipholus is mad, else would he never so demean himself. A ring he hath of mine worth 40 ducats, and for the same he promised me a chain. Both one and other he denies me now. The reason that I gather he is mad, besides this present instance of his rage, is a mad tale he told today at dinner, of his own doors being shut against his entrance. Belike his wife, acquainted with his fits, on purpose shut the doors against his way. My way is now to hie home to his house, and tell his wife that, being lunatic, he rushed into my house, and took perforce my ring away. This course I fittest choose, for 40 ducats is too much to lose.
Fear me not, man, I will not break away. I'll give thee ere I leave thee so much money to warrant thee as I am rested for. My wife is in a wayward mood today, and will not lightly trust the messenger. That I should be attached in Ephesus, I tell you, 'twill sound harshly in her ears. Here comes my man. I think he brings the money. How now, sir? Have you that I sent you for?
Here's that I warrant you will pay them all.
But where's the money?
Why, sir, I give the money for the rope.
500 ducats, villain, for a rope?
I'll serve you, sir, 500 at the rate.
To what end did I bid thee hie thee home?
To a rope's end, sir, and to that end of my return.
And to that end, sir, I will welcome you.
Sir, be patient. Nay, 'tis for me to be patient. I'm in adversity.
But now hold thy tongue.
Nay, rather persuade him to hold his
Thou
hand.
whoreson, senseless villain.
Oh, would I were senseless, sir, that I might not feel your blows.
Thou art sensible in nothing but blows, and so is an ass.
I am an ass indeed. You may prove it by my long ears. I've served him from the hour of my nativity to this instant, and have nothing at his hands for my service but blows. When I'm cold, he heats me with beating. When I'm warm, he cools me with beating. I'm waked with it when I sleep, raised with it when I sit, driven out of doors with it when I go from home, welcomed home with it when I return. Nay, I bear it on my shoulders as a beggar won't her brat. And I think when he hath lamed me, I shall beg with it from door to door.
Come, go along. My wife is coming yonder.
Mistress, res bis finum. Respect your end, or rather, a prophesy like the parrot, beware the rope's end.
Wilt thou still talk?
How say you now? Is not your husband mad?
Incivility confirms no less. Good Dr. Pinch, you are a conjurer.
Yes?
Establish him in his true sense again, and I will please you what you will demand.
Alas, how fiery and how sharp he looks.
Mark how he trembles in his ecstasy.
Give me your hand, and let me feel your pulse.
There is my hand, and let it feel your ear.
I charge thee, Satan, housed within this man, to yield possession to my holy prayers, and to thy state of darkness hie thee straight. I conjure thee by all the saints in heaven.
Peace, doting wizard, peace! I am not mad.
Oh, that thou wert not, poor distressed
You
soul.
minion, you! Are these your customers? Did this companion with the saffron face revel and feasted at my house today, whilst upon me the guilty doors were shut, and I denied to enter in my house?
Oh, husband, God doth know you dined at home. Where would you have remained until this time, free from these slanders and this open shame?
Dined at home? Thou villain, what sayest thou?
Sir, sooth to say, you did not dine at home.
Were not my doors locked up and I shut out?
Purdy, your doors were locked and you shut out.
And did not she herself revile me there?
Sans fable, she herself reviled you there.
Did not her kitchen maid rail, taunt, and scorn me?
Certes she did. The kitchen vestal scorned
And
you.
did not I in rage depart from thence?
In verity you did. My bones bear witness that since have felt the vigour of his rage.
Is't good to soothe him in these contraries?
It is no shame. The fellow finds his vein, and yielding to him humours well his friends.
Thou hast suborned the goldsmith to arrest me.
Alas, I sent you money to redeem you by Dromio here, who came in haste for it.
Money by me? Heart and goodwill you might, but surely, master, not a rag of money.
Whence not thou to her for a purse of ducats?
He came to me, and I delivered it.
And I am witness with her that she did.
God and the rope maker, bear me witness that I was sent for nothing but a rope.
Mistress, both man and master is possessed. I know it by their pale and deadly looks. They must be bound and laid in some dark room.
Say, wherefore didst thou lock me forth today? And why dost thou deny the bag of gold?
I did not, gentle husband, lock thee forth.
And gentle master, I received no gold, but I confess, sir, that we were locked out.
Dissembling villain, thou speaks false in both.
Dissembling harlot, thou art false in all, and art confederate with a damned pack to make a loathsome abject scorn of me. But with these nails I'll pluck out these false eyes that would behold in me this shameful sport.
Oh, bind him! Bind him! Let him not come near me!
More company! The fiend is strong within him!
Ay me, poor man, how pale and wan he looks.
What? Wilt thou murder me, thou jailer? Thou, I am thy prisoner. Wilt thou suffer them to make a rescue?
Masters, let him go. He is my prisoner, and you shall not have him.
Master! Go bind this man, for he is frantic too.
What wilt thou do, thou peevish officer? Hast thou delight to see a wretched man do outrage and displeasure to himself? himself.
He's my prisoner. If I let him go, the debt he owes will be required of me.
I will discharge thee ere I go from thee. Bear me forthwith unto his creditor, and knowing how the debt grows, I will pay it. Good master doctor, see him safe conveyed home to my house. Oh, most unhappy day.
Oh, most unhappy strumpet!
Master, I'm here entered in bond for you.
Out on thee, villain! Wherefore dost thou mad me?
Will you be bound for nothing? Be mad, good master. Try the devil.
God help poor souls. How idly they do talk.
Go bear him hence. Sister, go you with me.
No.
Say now, whose suit is he arrested at?
One Angelo, a goldsmith. Do you know him?
I know the man. What is the sum he owes?
200 ducats.
Say, how grows it due?
Due for a chain your husband had of him.
He did bespeak a chain for me, but had it not.
When is your husband all enraged today came to my house and took away my ring, the ring I saw upon his finger now, straight after did I meet him with a chain.
It may be so, but I did never see it. Come, jailer, bring me where the goldsmith is. I long to know the truth hereof at large.
There, master, there! Lord, for thy mercy, they are loose again.
And come with naked swords! Let's call more help to have them bound!
I see these witches are afraid of swords.
She that would be your wife now ran from you.
Come to the centaur, fetch our stuff from hence. I long that we were safe and sound aboard.
Faith, stay here this night. They will surely do us no harm. You see, they speak us fair, give us gold. Methinks they are such a gentle nation, that but for that mountain of mad flesh that claims marriage of me, I could find it in my heart to stay here still. Enter, witch.
I will not stay tonight for all the town. Therefore, away to get our stuff aboard.
I am sorry, sir, that I have hindered you, but I protest he had the chain of me, though most dishonestly he doth deny it.
How is the man esteemed here in the city?
Of very reverend reputation, sir, of credit infinite, highly beloved, second to none that lives here in the city. His word might bear my wealth at any time.
Speak softly. Yonder, as I think, he walks.
'Tis so. And that self-chain about his neck which he forswore most monstrously to have. Good sir, draw near with me. I'll speak to him. Signor Antipholus, I wonder much that you would put me to this shame and trouble, and not without some scandal to yourself, with circumstance and oaths, so to deny this chain which now you wear so openly. Beside the charge, the shame, imprisonment, you have done wrong to this my honest friend, who, but for staying on our controversy, had hoisted sail and put to sea today. This chain you had of me, can you deny it?
I think I had. I never did deny it.
Yes, that you did, sir, and forswore it too.
Who heard me to deny it or forswear it?
These years of mine thou know'st it hear thee. Fie on thee, wretch! 'Tis pity that thou liv'st to walk where any honest men resort.
Thou art a villain to impeach me thus. I'll prove mine honour and mine honesty against thee presently, if thou darest stand.
I dare, and do defy thee for a villain!
Hey, sir,
Have him not, for God's sake, he is mad! Some, get within him, take his sword away, bind Dromio too, and bear them to my house.
Run, master, run! For God's sake, take a house! This is some priory. In, or we are spoiled!
Be quiet, people! Wherefore throng ye hither?
To fetch my poor distracted husband hence. Let us come in, that we may bind him fast and bear him home for his recovery.
I knew he was not in his perfect wits.
I'm sorry now that I did draw on him.
How long hath this possession held the man?
This week he hath been heavy, sour, sad, and much, much different from the man he was. But till this afternoon his passion ne'er brake into extremity of rage.
Hath he not lost much wealth by wreck of sea? Buried some dear friend? Hath not else his eye strayed his affection in unlawful love? a sin prevailing much in youthful men who give their eyes the liberty of gazing. Which of these sorrows is he subject to?
To none of these, except it be the last, namely some love that drew him oft from home.
You should for that have reprehended him.
Why, so I did.
Aye, but not rough enough.
As roughly as my modesty would let me.
Haply in private.
And in assemblies too.
Aye, but not enough.
It was the copy of our conference. In bed he slept not for my urging it. At board he fed not for my urging it. Alone it was the subject of my theme. In company I often glanced at it. Still did I tell him it was vile and bad.
And thereof came it that the man was mad. The venom clamours of a jealous woman, poison more deadly than a mad dog's tooth. It seems his sleeps were hindered by thy railing, and thereof comes it that his head is light. Thou say'st his meat was sauced with thy upbraidings. Unquiet meals make ill digestions. Thereof the raging fire of fever bred, and what's a fever but a fit of madness? Thou say'st his sports were hindered by thy brawls. Sweet recreation barred, what doth ensue but moody and dull melancholy, kinsman to grim and comfortless despair, and at her heels a huge infectious troop of pale distemperatures and foes to life. In food, in sport, and life-preserving rest to be disturbed, would mad or man or beast. The consequence is then thy jealous fits hath scared thy husband from the use of wits.
She never reprehended him but mildly when he demeaned himself rough, rude, and wildly. Why bear you these rebukes and answer not?
She did betray me to my own reproof. Oh, good people, enter and lay hold on him.
No, not a creature enters in my house.
Then let your servants bring my husband forth.
Neither. He took this place for sanctuary, and it shall privilege him from your hands till I have brought him to his wits again, or lose my labour in assaying it.
I will attend my husband, be his nurse, diet his sickness, for it is my office, and will have no attorney but myself, and therefore let me have him home with me.
Be patient, for I will not let him stir till I have used the approved means I have, with wholesome syrups, drugs, and holy prayers, to make of him a formal man again. It is a branch and parcel of mine oath, a charitable duty of my order. Therefore depart, and leave him here with me.
I will not hence, and leave my husband here, and ill it doth beseem your holiness to separate the husband and the wife.
Be quiet, and depart. Thou shalt not have him.
Complain unto the Duke of this indignity.
Come, go. I will fall prostrate at his feet, and never rise until my tears and prayers have won his grace to come in person hither, and take perforce my husband from the abbess.
By this I think the dial points at 5. Anon I'm sure the Duke himself in person comes this way to the melancholy vale, the place of death and sorry execution behind the ditches of the abbey here.
Upon what cause?
To see a reverend Syracusan merchant who put unluckily into this bay against the laws and statutes of this town, beheaded publicly for his offence.
See where they come. We will behold his death.
Kneel to the Duke before he pass the abbey.
Yet once again proclaim it publicly, if any friend will pay the sum for him, he shall not die. So much we tender him.
Justice, most sacred Duke, against the abbess.
She is a virtuous and a reverend lady. It cannot be that she hath done thee wrong.
Oh, may it please your grace. Antipholus, my husband, who I made lord of me and all I had at your important letters, this ill day a most outrageous fit of madness took him, that desperately he hurried through the street, with him his bondmen, all as mad as he, doing displeasure to the citizens by rushing in their houses, bearing thence rings, jewels, anything his rage did like. Once did I get him bound and send him home, whilst to take order for the wrongs I went, that here and there his fury had committed. Anon, I wot not by what strong escape, he broke from those that had the guard of him, and with his mad attendant and himself, each one with ireful passion, with drawn swords, met us again, and madly bent on us, chased us away, till, raising of more aid, we came again to bind them. Then they fled into this abbey, whither we pursued them, and here the abbess shuts the gates on us, and will not suffer us to fetch him out, nor send him forth that we may bear him hence. Therefore, most gracious Duke, with thy command, let him be brought forth and borne hence for help.
Long since thy husband served me in my wars, and I to thee engaged a prince's word when thou didst make him master of thy bed, to do him all the grace and good I could. Go, some of you. Knock at the abbey gate and bid the lady abbess come to me. I will determine this before I stir.
Oh, mistress, mistress, shift and save yourself. My master and his man are both broke loose, beaten the maids a row and bound the doctor, whose beard they have singed off with brands of fire, and ever as it blazed they threw on him great pails of puddled mire to quench the hair. My master preaches patience to him, and the while his man with scissors nicks him like a fool, and sure, unless you send some present help, between them they will kill the conjurer.
Peace, fool. Thy master and his man are here, and that is false thou dost report to us.
Mistress, upon my life, I tell you true, I have not breathed almost since I did see it. He cries for you, and vows, if he can take you, to scorch your face and to disfigure you. Hark, hark, I hear him, mistress. Fly, begone.
Come, stand by me. Fear nothing. Guard with halberd.
Ay me, it is my husband. Witness you that he is borne about invisible. Even now we housed him in the abbey here, and now he's there, past thought of human reason.
Justice, most gracious Duke, oh grant me justice, even for the service that long since I did thee when I bestrid thee in the wars, and took deep scars to save thy life, even for the blood that then I lost for thee, now grant me justice.
Unless the fear of death doth make me dote, I see my son Antipholus, and Dromio.
Justice, sweet prince, against that woman there, she whom thou gavest to me to be my wife, that hath abused and dishonoured me even in the strength and height of injury. Beyond imagination is the wrong that she this day hath shameless thrown on me.
Discover how, and thou shalt find me just.
This day, great Duke, she shut the doors upon me, while she with harlots feasted in my house.
A grievous fault. Say, woman, didst thou so?
No, my good lord, myself, he, and my sister today did dine together. So befall my soul, as this is false, he burdens me withal.
Ne'er may I look on day nor sleep on night, but she tells to your highness simple truth.
Oh, perjured woman, they are both forsworn. In this the madman justly chargeth them.
My liege, I am advised what I say, neither disturbed with the effect of wine, nor heady rash provoked with raging ire, albeit my wrongs might make one wiser mad. This woman locked me out this day from dinner. That goldsmith there, were he not packed with her, could witness it, for he was with me then, who parted with me to go fetch a chain, promising to bring it to the Porpentine, where Balthazar and I did dine together. Our dinner done, and he not coming thither, I went to seek him. In the street I met him, and in his company that gentleman. There did this perjured goldsmith swear me down that I this day of him received the chain, which God he knows I saw not, for the which he did arrest me with an officer. I did obey, and sent my peasant home for certain ducats. He with none returned. Then, fairly, I bespoke the officer to go in person with me to my house. By the way, we met my wife, her sister, and a rabble more of vile confederates. Along with them they brought one Pinch, a hungry, lean-faced villain, a mere anatomy, a mountebank, a threadbare juggler, and a fortune-teller, a needy, hollow-eyed, sharp-looking wretch, a living dead man. This pernicious slave, forsooth, took on him as a conjurer, and gazing in mine eyes, feeling my pulse, and with no face as 'twere out-facing me, cries out I was possessed. Then all together they fell upon me, bound me, bore me thence, and in a dark and dankish vault at home there left me and my man both bound together, till gnawing with my teeth my bonds in sunder, I gained my freedom and immediately ran hither to your grace, whom I beseech to give me ample satisfaction for these deep shames and great indignities.
My lord, in truth, thus far I witness with him, that he dined not at home, but was locked out.
But had he such a chain of thee, or no?
He had, my lord, and when he ran in here, these people saw the chain about his neck.
Besides, I will be sworn these years of mine heard you confess you had the chain of him, after you first forswore it on the mart, and thereupon I drew my sword on you, and then you fled into this abbey here, from whence I think you are come by miracle.
I never came within these abbey walls, nor ever didst thou draw thy sword on me. I never saw the chain, so help me heaven, and this is false you burden me withal.
Why, what an intricate impeach is this! I think you all have drunk of Circe's cup. If here you housed him, here he would have been. If he were mad, he would not plead so coldly. You say he dined at home. The goldsmith here denies that saying. Sirrah, what's yours?
Sir, he there at the Porpentine.
He did, and from my finger snatched that ring.
'Tis true, my liege, this ring I had of her.
Sawest thou him enter at the abbey here?
As sure, my lieges, I do see your grace.
Why, this is strange. Go call the abbess hither. I think you are all mated or stark mad.
Most mighty Duke, vouchsafe me speak a word. Haply I see a friend will save my life, and pay the sum that may deliver me.
Speak freely, Syracusian, what thou wilt.
Is not your name, sir, called Antipholus? And is that not your bondman Dromio?
Within this hour I was his bondman, sir, but he, I thank him, gnawed in two my cords. Now am I Dromio and his man unbound.
Oh, I'm sure you both of you remember me.
Ourselves we do remember, sir, by you, for lately we were bound as you are now. You're not Pinch's patient, are you, sir?
Well, look so strange on me. You know me well.
I never saw you in my life till now.
Oh, grief hath changed me since you saw me last, and careful hours with time's deformed hand have written strange to features on my face. But tell me yet, dost thou not know my voice?
Neither.
Dromio nor thou?
No, trust me, sir, not I.
Oh, I'm sure thou dost.
Aye, sir, but I am sure I do not. And whatsoever a man denies, you are now bound to believe him.
Know my voice? Oh, time's extremity hast thou so cracked and splitted my poor tongue in 7 short years, that here my only son knows not my feeble key of untuned cares. Though now this granite face of mine be hid in sap-consuming winter's drizzled snow, and all the conduits of my blood froze up, yet hath my night of life some memory, my wasting lamp some fading glimmer left, my dull deaf ears a little use to hear. All these old witnesses, I cannot tell me thou art my son Antipholus.
I never saw my father in my life.
But 7 years since in Syracuse, boy, thou know'st we parted. But perhaps, my son, thou shamest to acknowledge me in misery.
The Duke and all that know me in the city can witness with me that it is not so. I ne'er saw Syracusa in my life.
I tell thee, Syracusian, 20 years have I been patron to Antipholus, during which time he ne'er saw Syracusa. I see thy age and dangers make thee dote.
Come, sir.
What?
Most mighty Duke, behold a man much wronged.
I see 2 husbands, or mine eyes deceive me.
One of these men is genius to the other, and so of these. Which is the natural man and which the spirit? Who deciphers them?
I, sir, am Dromio. Command him away.
I, sir, am Dromio. Pray let me stay.
Aegeon art thou not, or else his ghost.
Oh, my old master. Who hath bound him here?
Whoever bound him, I will loose his bonds and gain a husband by his liberty. Speak, old Aegeon, if thou beest the man that had a wife once, called Emilia, that bore thee at a burden 2 fair sons. Oh, if thou beest the same Aegeon, speak, and speak unto the same Emilia.
Oh, if I dream not thou art Emilia, if thou art she, tell me, where is that son that floated with thee on that fatal rock?
By men of Epidamnum, he and I and the twin Dromio all were taken up. But by and by rude fishermen of Corinth by force took Dromio and my son from them. And me they left with those of Epidamnum. What then became of them I cannot tell. I to this fortune that you see me in.
Why, here begins his morning story right. These 2 Antipholuses, these 2 so like, and these 2 Dromios, one in semblance, besides her urging of her wreck at sea, these are the parents to these children which accidentally are met together. Antipholus, thou camest from Corinth first?
No, sir, not I. I came from Syracuse.
Stay, stand apart. I know not which is which.
I came from Corinth, my most gracious lord.
And I with him.
Brought to this town by that most famous warrior, Duke Menophon, your most renowned uncle.
Which of you 2 did dine with me today?
I, gentle mistress.
And are not you my husband?
No, I say nay to that.
And so do I, yet she did call me so. And this fair gentlewoman, her sister here, did call me brother. What I told you then, I hope I shall have leisure to make good, if this be not a dream I see and hear.
That is the chain, sir, which you had of me.
I think it be, sir, I deny it not.
And you, sir, for this chain arrested me.
I think I did, sir, I deny it not.
I sent you money, sir, to be your bail by Dromio, but I think he brought it not.
No, none by me.
This purse of ducats I received from you, and Dromio, my man, did bring them me. I see we still did meet each other's man, and I was
his turn for him, and he for me, and thereupon these errors are arose.
These ducats pawn I for my father here.
It shall not need. Thy father hath his life.
Oh. Sir, I must have that diamond from you.
There, take it, and much thanks for my good cheer.
Renowned Duke, vouchsafe to take the pains to go with us into the abbey here, and here at large discoursed all our fortunes, and all that are assembled in this place, that by this sympathized one day's error have suffered wrong. Go, keep us company, and we shall make full satisfaction. 33 years have I but gone in travail of you, my sons, and till this present hour my heavy burden ne'er delivered. The Duke, my husband, and my children both, and you, the calendars of their nativity, go to a gossip's feast, and joy with me after so long grief. Such nativity.
With all my heart I'll gossip at this feast.
Master, shall I fetch your stuff from shipboard?
Dromio, what stuff of mine hast thou embarked?
Ooh, your goods that lay at house, sir, in the centaur.
He speaks to me. I am your master, Dromio. Come, go with us. We'll look to that anon. Embrace thy brother there. Rejoice with him.
Hello.
There is a fat friend at your master's house that kitchen made for you today at dinner. She now should be my sister, not my wife.
Methinks you are my glass and not my brother. I see by you I am a sweet-faced youth. Will you walk in to see their gossiping?
Not I, sir. You are my elder.
That's a question. How shall we try it?
We'll draw cats for the senior. Till then, lead thou first.
Nay, then thus. We came into the world like brother and brother. And now, let's go hand in hand, not one before another.